All right. So the first thing I always say is start light. You can always get darker. And this area right here is really light. So before I even put any paint into it, I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of a wet watercolor brush just to put some water there. And the water will simply keep it from soaking up quite as much of the paint itself. It just automatically will help you keep it a little bit lighter there. And then I'm going to get a little bit of the yellow, and I'm going to start right down in this area. And yellow really is kind of an undertone throughout most of this thing. So I'm going to use that. Now I want this area here just a little bit brighter. So I'm going to go back in and pull a little bit of more saturated paint. And if I do it right now while this petal is still kind of wet, I can get it in there without a hard line. And then I clean my brush, and I'm just cleaning my brush in plain water. And then I'm just tapping it off on a paper towel so it's just barely kind of damp, but it's clean. There's no paint on it. And I'm gonna just pull a little of that color. But I'm gonna let it fade. As it gets closer to this side, it needs to be lighter. It needs to be not quite so rich. So this is kind of my undercoat. And while that's drying, I'm going to go grit my green. I made kind of a light green. And I'm just going to do a flat wash on this side of the leaf. Flat wash, you start at the top, you let gravity help you. Tilt your board, put something underneath the upper part of it when you use watercolor. And that gives you some control over the direction that the paint is going to run. In a flat wash, the ideal or the purpose is to try to make it all just an even, flat base color. Since I want this leaf to be all one color, I'm pulling a little of that green up. There's a little green on this side of the flower petal. Now we're going to have to let that sit for a few minutes and dry. So just set it aside for like 5 minutes, and we'll come back to it in just a little bit.